again, everybody. It's Tuesday night. It's the end of the season. And unfortunately, we have some sad stuff to talk about this evening, I think. We're all on a bit of a downer. But obviously, we move, we carry on. We're still going to talk through it. Isn't it?
Sparks is here. Sparks is there. Look at him.
Yeah, lovely. But yeah,
Sunshine
we're
indoors.
obviously on Mr. Arsenal's podcast live tonight with the All Arsenal Review Show, but also on In the North Bank with the All Johnny Gooner Arsenal Show as well. So bit of a collab going on, and we'll get each other through it, I think. So first of all, we'll start with obviously my co-host Liam. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm all right. Still kind of digesting. A busy weekend, shall I say? I had a fucking busy weekend, but yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm going to be a little bit gutted because obviously we got so close, and I've got a few things to get off my chest tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. And it does include West Ham fans, Chelsea fans, Manchester City fans, and any other fans that want to fucking give it.
Put Brighton in there as well.
Brighton?
Yeah, Brighton as well.
They've been giving it to you?
Yeah, give it me on the train on the way home, man.
Mate, they didn't finish above Crystal Palace, their main rivals at the end. What are they giving it for?
Why did you
they got their manager.
No idea.
Fuck them off. Fuck them all off.
Can't believe it.
Fuck them all off, mate.
Exactly that. And Ryan, nice to have you back. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Again, I had my birthday yesterday, so I sort of eased the pain of what was going on Sunday and it gave me a distraction. But yeah, I'm all good. Apart from Sunday's predictable debacle from Manchester and West Ham side of things. I sent Liam something earlier, by the way. I didn't notice it at the time. I sent to Liam, but Man City's first goal was scored on the first 1 minute 15 seconds.
No way.
Worse than I thought. I thought it was 4 minutes for some reason.
Oh,
so
I just got that.
On a screenshot, I didn't. So I got sent it
in. Go on.
So what are the odds? And now there's rumours that all their players want to leave apparently.
Yeah. Well, what can we do? Hey, we're past it now. Bez, how are you? Nice to see you this weekend.
Still alive, still one piece, resilient. What could have been?
Yeah, pretty much sums it up. Brooksy, again, nice to see you. Haven't seen you for a long time on Sunday, so that was nice. But how are you?
Yeah, it was a real treat for yourself. Yeah, and for me. No, it was a good. It was
modest as ever.
I'm not going to lie. It was a nice evening. I was a bit fragile Monday morning after obviously drinking Saturday night and Sunday. Yeah, I was just proud but sad. I think that's the right way to look at it. It's just
it's the hope that kills you.
It certainly is, Ryan. It certainly is. It's just like when you're trying to reach something off the top of the tree and you just can't get there. But it's coming. It's all good.
Yeah. And last but not least, Sparks, nice to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, we just kind of bear up and proud, disappointed, obviously. But yeah, we need to look to the transfer window now and strengthen those departments and go again.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with that. And also, even to anyone that's in the chat, obviously, as always, as we go along, if you have any questions or topics you want to bring up within reason, please feel free to do so. So what we'll do first is we'll go into the women's side, because I think that was obviously the first fixture of the weekend. Something probably a bit better to talk about, and then we'll go into Sunday's build-up, pre-match, around the ground, what we were all doing, and obviously get stuck in on the game and the situation as well afterwards. So yeah, first of all, it was the final WSL game at Meadow Park. As we know from last week, going forward, we'll be playing all our games at the Emirates for the WSL. So it was a nice little send-off for a couple of players and obviously for Meadow Park holding that kind of fixture as well. A few changes. Ryan, I'll come to you first as well. Stina disappeared.
Yeah,
that
got till today. That got me worried.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk about her. Great news today a little bit later on. But how nice is it as well that D'Angelo got a chance to be in goal for the on her final appearance for the club.
Oh, so because we had nothing to fight for, I was so happy to see. Even if we had something to fight for, I'd be happy to see Sabrina. And I was happy that she got the full game as well. It wasn't just a majority, and then she got hooked off, and then Manu got her game in before she goes on I'm assuming maternity later on at the start of next season.
Yeah.
She didn't. Again, she had nothing to do, but when she was called upon, brilliant. And I'm gutted that we're letting her go, because I think out of the two current goalkeepers we've got, I prefer to see her in goal between the sticks than obviously our first choice currently. But yeah, I was so happy to see her get that farewell and say goodbye to the fans. And I know you Lottie, and a few others met her the other week, so there is that connection there.
Definitely. Yeah, she's a really nice person, down to earth, as most of the girls are, to be fair. And yeah, like you echo what you say, it was really nice for her to be given the chance to play the full game and have the love from the fans, because sometimes if they're on the bench or come on for a little cameo, it doesn't feel the same. But there was a few times where she got stuck in, shall we say, as some of the Brighton players. And really did put in a brilliant performance and looks very comfortable back there. So it is a shame that she is sort of due to head on wherever that may be going forward. Bez, I'll come to you as well. Was there any surprises for you in this team? Were you happy to see Sabrina get a chance, and were you also worried that Stina wasn't around?
Happy for Sabrina. I'm glad that she played the final game, the whole of it. As Ryan just said, it was nice to see her, just enjoy the whole moment and just soak it up, which was nice to see that. Surprising not to see Stina was a surprise, but happy to see Viv get a chance to have a good, proper send off, goal and assist. I mean, despite the emotions, as I said the other week, being a big fan of hers. And the way I feel that Jonas treated her was kind of like nice and made me feel a little bit better, even though I started late hours of the morning, as I told you, despite the insomnia kicking in on Sunday morning, but just felt a bit, thankfully, she got her goal, she got her assist, she got a proper farewell. But I just do wish, as I said earlier, some of these players didn't let it go so all of a sudden, which again we'll touch on it, but it's just I'm still a bit bitter and a bit upset still inside about it, inside.
Yeah. That's completely fair enough. And Liam, did you catch much of the game on Saturday at all, or any sort of idea of what the game was like?
No, sadly, I was hosting a big party
Nice.
there for a 40th, so obviously I only really caught the result on Saturday, and that didn't finish till the early hours of the morning, and then I was at the Emirates on Sunday, so I'll be honest, I haven't seen too much whatsoever, but obviously it was a good comprehensive win by all accounts. Obviously Viv got a moment which was really good. Was kind of surprised she didn't start. I thought she might start for the last game, but she come on and got her stuff. And I think we just need to look forward now. Like, there's no point dwelling that she's gone, because she's gone. Do you know what I mean? He's got to get it right. He's got to get it right this summer, and he's got to get it right at the start of next season. Or I believe a lot of questions will be asked next year of him if he doesn't get it right again. So. Yeah, it's a big season for him. We've said it for the last few months. It's a big season for him next year. So we just need to look forward now, get that team right, get the players in that we need to get in, and go again. Goalkeeper, left winger, potentially another defender. And then we'll see how we go next season.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll come to you on this one, Brooksy, because I know you're a fan of Russo, bit of a local to you as well, kind of, isn't she? Would another 2 goals to take her tally up well into double figures this season. Obviously, we got her for free in the summer, but how have you been impressed with her? And obviously, how she's come into a big club. A lot of things have changed in her life, but still has put in a really good performance all season, and obviously helped contribute as she should up top.
Yeah, no, she's done well. It's obviously always difficult for any player coming to a new club, and obviously the pressure was on her. She's a big name, obviously a big club, not biggest, but yeah, no, she's could have scored a few more goals possibly. Going to be picky, but no, I suppose in a weird way now, Medium is out of the picture. She's going to be the main girl. So yeah, fingers crossed she'll get 20 goals next year.
Yeah, exactly that. And Sparks, I know you're sort of slowly watching the girls as and when you can as well. obviously this game had no real meaning to it. There was nothing left to fight for. It was just kind of get the game done and dusted. But yeah, the fact that we come away with a 5-0 result and kept a clean sheet. Obviously last year, the last fixture we actually lost on the end, on the last game, sorry. Again, there was nothing riding on it. So yeah, do you think it's important that they've sort of come out there, got the job done, and finished the season as high as they possibly could?
I mean, it goes towards mentality, doesn't it? At the end of the day, so your biggest test is when there's nothing on it, and you're not on the beach. You're actually just doing what you should do. And obviously, the last game at that venue as well. So I guess there is a bit of something on it because I guess it's a part of history. I guess. So that if you look at it that way, maybe there is a slight bit on it, but not really much. But yeah, it just shows mentality, doesn't it? That you actually can get the job done and move on to the next season, take stock of what's happened, and yeah, hopefully don't fall off like they did this season. Really, obviously the new venue. Obviously, more fans watching week in, week out, and as we said before, other clubs should follow the lead in that one. Get more people watching the women's game as well. Hopefully, it can help the recirculation of wealth around the women's game as well as the men's game.
Yeah, exactly. Some good points there. Ryan, I'll come to you because obviously you were the one that watched the game. We also debuted our new kit for obviously the first time. And one thing I made a little joke about is obviously we've got red socks this season coming.
Yep.
So we'll no longer have the issue of sock gate at Stamford Bridge. But what did you make of the kit? When it was actually on the players, you could see it for real.
Yeah, better than again. You know, it's always with the 3D imagey crap that you see from February onwards is a bit leaves a lot to be desired. But when you see it in person, it does look all right for me. As I say, the back a bit from the side to the back at the bottom, too much white for me. But it is what it is. But overall, it's a nice kit. Can't complain. I would have thought, in terms of for the women's team, they would have gone down the England route and not given the girls white shorts for obvious reasons. But apart from that, yeah, I can't win. And it's saying that no more sock gate, no more going to Stamford Bridge and being told change your socks, go to our mega store, please, and give us 50 quid.
Yeah,
I still can't believe that.
I still can't believe that. And you've seen other teams basically going blue at Stamford Bridge, and that's been okay. But a white sock is not okay. But yeah, like we said, a little bit of a joke just to lighten the mood there.
With a red thunderbolt in it, by the way.
Yeah, but still. I'll come to you. Obviously, Viv came on. She got a good, I want to say like 20, 25, maybe even 30 minutes in the second half. But to some people's happiness and probably kicked in some fire towards Jonas in that moment as well. Her first touch, she scored a goal. Were you sad to not see her start the game or maybe get a little bit longer? And how impressed were you when she did come on? Have you seen it?
From us on the highlights, was like a 17-minute highlight reel on YouTube. She looked really like fired up for the moment. She seemed to be comfortable. She seemed to know what she's gonna do. You know, I do wish part as much as I'm a big fan of Alessia Russo. I do wish he started them both, to be honest, and because just seeing for the final time what could have been with these two together, you know, side by side, given the hard so-called away days as we call them now. Her goal was just staying so well. You know, she looked right where she belongs in that you know, middle of the park. Her assist was beautiful as well. The way she created that goal. I just thought, you know, surely she deserved more than just 25 minutes cameo for her last ever appearance for the ladies. I mean, I'm here to attack Jonas again, and I've said to you last week, and I'll say it now, and I'll say to you Sunday. I will say Jonas you didn't support this girl through the hard times. Surely, as a man, you know, as a manager as well, we say as a manager, you know, as a man to another man, Support your basically, how can I say this? Your team, your squad, when going gets tough. These girls, i.e. Vivian, she's been in the club for 6.5 years, going 7, if I'm correct. Surely should have backed her up. You got an injury, give her some help. Like the way Arteta did to Xhaka. He went through all that crap, all that shit house raise, all the fan base, a few of them, which I'll probably get to in a bit later on, And I feel I hurt because simply he didn't support her. He didn't back her up. He didn't offer armor on the shoulder. He never backed up in the media, which surely as a manager who claims to be very, motivational man. And then please tell me, even I'll talk about this again. I don't dwell too much and give people a chance to speak, but I just feel like he didn't offer that, emotional support. You're a manager. Surely a team like our team, who's going through a little bit of transitional period, support the squad you have. Doesn't mean just start at 11. You got other girls too. Surely could have been utilized a bit more. Vivian, yes, Sabrina deserved a bit more chance. I like Zinsberg is not too bad, but I feel like D'Angelo looked more authoritative. Even Sunday, you can see even in the last game, she looked more comfortable. She was enjoying it. She was still smiling. Bless her heart. Her last game for us, the girl's still smiling. And there's this man here who just wants to throw them under the bus. So for me, I'll simply just fuming, thinking, for most of the highlights, I think surely going to let these two go. What a moron. I'm sorry. I'll attack him when I get to speak before I lose my voice, because I've lost my voice a bit on Sunday. But I just feel like, just I don't know, furious. I'm still furious how he's let them go, these two girls, especially them anyway, without dwelling too much in time.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair enough. And Liam, I know that obviously we've sort of said before that it's now happened. We know what's happening and it's sort of time to move on and stuff. But she came on and obviously scored straight away, had a bit of a moment with the whole team, which lasted a couple of minutes right in front of me, celebrating and just hugging everyone and having that moment. But then also played an absolute beauty into Frida Marnham, who tucked it in and got a goal. So coming on to have a goal and an assist, do you think that's kind of a last fingers up at Jonas to sort of say this is what you're letting go?
Maybe, but I think we knew. I think there was doubt there. We knew last year that she was going to go at some point. I think it's been on. I think the writing's been on the wall for a long, long time. And maybe I think there is something there between her and Jonas. There's definitely something there because you can see that in that video. Maybe there is a little bit that she does like to prove a point, and it's a good way to go out. But I just think that the time, I don't actually think, I'm going to be quite controversial here. I don't think it's a bad thing whatsoever. You can all sit here and cry that she's going, but she leaves with a legacy. She leaves with a legacy, what she's created this team. She's had a massive injury. There is no guarantee that she will come back and be that same kind of player. She's been at the club quite a long time now. Maybe she needs a fresh challenge. Maybe we need a fresh challenge without her now. Like, we need to mould other players. And like, you look at the likes of, we got Russo in. I don't know. I don't know if there's room for two of them, if I'm being totally honest with you. I don't know if there was room for two of them. Obviously, there ain't room for two of them because she's going. And I just think that we applaud her for what she's done for the club. She's finished on a high and just look forward now. As a club, we just got to stop looking back now from now on. And it's like the men's team as well. We need to look forward. The HE needs to look forward 100%. He needs to, as I said, he needs to go out this next year and do the business. Otherwise, there's a lot of talk about him already. And I just think that, yeah, there might have been something in there. There might have been something in the background. And if there is, maybe it's best that she does go. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because of her relationship with Beth as well.
Yeah.
It does worry you a little bit. Could we see Bev go next year? Could we Bev have one more year and go? You just don't know, do you? It could all depend where Viv goes as well. That's the other thing. Where
they play each other?
Pardon?
Where should they play each other? I mean, if they play each other, are they going to tackle each other? What are they going to do?
Oh, yeah. I would. If Sarah was playing jump team, mate, I'd blow up in the air.
You wouldn't.
I'm clipping that.
You'd be sleeping out earlier, mate.
To be fair, mate, she'd probably put me up in the air. But yeah, I just think we've got to move on now. I just think that if she was banging in goals last season, the season before, and she was doing it, then there'd be a different kind of question, wouldn't there? And it might be that she's leaving because obviously she wants a new challenge. And I think overall that's probably what there is a bit of that. But I just think as well there is no guarantee she's going to come back the same player as she was.
Yeah, and I kind of said as well, it was different when she arrived and was banging in goals. Like I think she scored 5 or 6 in the one game, because the league is different. The league has grown. It's much more competitive. We've obviously attracted much better players now. So we've gone from basically relying on her to she was being mixed around in the team. Yeah, still performing well. And obviously she's a very good player, but also now we've got strength in other areas that makes us look like we don't actually, we don't need her, but we've moved on. The whole club and the league has moved on. And I think some people are sort of just living in those pre-Euros win WSL moments and thinking we need her like that, which we don't anymore. But again, that's just a positive really in my eyes of how much the league has grown since. Sorry.
What I would say is with her as well is because obviously Russo's come in and we've moulded the team kind of around her over last year, and she's probably not scored as many goals as we'd liked in the first season, if we're being frankly honest, but she's done a lot of work in terms of she's not just a striker, is she? You'll see her pop up on the left, and she's not someone who just stays up top. I just think like if you put Viv back in a team, could that then disrupt other players? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think now we've signed Stina again. I think we got to give her a really good opportunity next year as well. Like she's never ever let us down, and she's popped up in big moments. And if we're being frankly honest, she's won us. She alone has won us our last 2 trophies.
Yeah.
True, that's true.
Yeah,
she has won us alone in the last 2 trophies, and I want to see her get more run in the team. And now she's signed this new contract. I'm quite happy about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying she's going to start every game, and it'd be interesting to see who we get in because I think there's a balance to be made, and I do think if we got an out and out winger, I think potentially that could kind of change our dimension a little bit and could really help Russo as well. But I just think that obviously with that, I just think with Stina at the moment, I think now she's signed the contract, give her that opportunity, give her that opportunity at the start of next season to make a space her own, because we have played her quite often. And she come up trumps, didn't she, at Man City as well? So she comes up, she's a big game player. That is what she is. She's a big game player.
Yeah, absolutely. Leads us on nicely to obviously after some sad news last week of players leaving. Some really good news finally that she has signed a new deal. I did try and read it, but it didn't say how long the deal is for. No. But Ryan, I'll come to you with her stats because she can sometimes be given as someone who misses quite a lot of chances and quite easy chances, but then will score a really difficult one. But she's actually got 43 goals in 83 appearances, which I think is a pretty good stat for her, to be fair. I know she's a striker, of course, but from what people actually think she is to her actual stats, I think that just shows how clinical she can be and how, like Liam said, how important she can be as well.
No, definitely. And as I say, I think I said this a few weeks back, in terms of when she initially came, it took a while for her to settle down, get used to the team, what Jonas wanted from her, etc. But I think once Kelly Smith was brought in and Kelly started working with her privately and all that as well, we've started to see the Stina we thought we were getting in the first place, like more settled, taking more of a chances, staying on side a lot more nowadays as well. And I didn't know this until obviously they announced it today, and I was reading through it like you was in terms of the announcement on the Arsenal website. In her 2 full seasons, 2.5 years she's been our top goal scorer. And considering this season, we've been saying that we've just said she ain't got enough minutes this season, just gone. That's brilliant. Yeah, I think it would have been gutting to lose both Stina and Viv and put everything on Russo. So we did need to keep Stina. And honestly, I thought a few weeks ago when she did that interview and she was mentioning Barcelona and she's got offers and she's looking and she'll make the decision whenever. I did think maybe her arm was being pulled elsewhere. And I'm so thankful we got that news today because we need that. Again, we're in assuming we qualify for Champions League, you've got to have that. We need that rotation. between Russo and Steiner. And you can play them together. We've said this before. They have to rotate. Just play them together. You got Michelle, who's come back actually from Watford from a loan spell. Have her on the bench and play them together. Change the formation a bit. Play Steiner and Russo together. And when Michelle comes on, she comes on for one of the other, but she's learning off both. But it's so important to keep hold of her because she does score not just goals, but it's clutch goals in big moments. Like Liam said, she's the main reason why we won the Continental Cup. Not just this year, but last year as well.
Mm-hmm.
She's a big game player. Thanks to Kelly Smith.
Yeah. And Brooksy, how important is it for the club to be tying down a player like that as well, and not just sort of let them go, but actually get it done nice and early, just as the season's finished, and then ready to go again in the sort of pre-season, have that sort of the minefield sorted of they will be our players, and then we work around them. How important do you think that is?
Yeah, it's very good business from Arsenal. It's just the right thing to do. As you said, you had the sad news last week. It's nice. You always want to get your club to start getting things done early. So, yeah, fair play. Crack on. It puts down a marker as well. Lets the other team knows that your best players are staying. So, yeah, and hopefully you'll attract a few more players as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just quickly to sort of tie it all up, the girls have headed out to Australia to play one game.
What's Liam eating? I'm just laughing at Liam.
Is it popcorn or something?
Away. He's cracking up. Go on, son.
Crisps.
Cheese balls, man. That's all I've had all day.
You love a cheese
That's
ball.
what happens. That's what happens. That's what happens, mate. When you've got two kids under two, trust me.
And it's birthday week. It's a birthday weekend for the other half, and it's anniversary weekend. It's all rolled into one.
And Arsenal.
What could have been if Arsenal won the league? Bloody hell!
Yeah,
I'm not sure he'd be here.
No, he wouldn't be.
Yeah. I wouldn't be in this bar. So, well, I might be in this bar at the moment, but I can tell you there'll be a lot more activity going on behind me.
I think you've been in bed, probably staring at your own kind of face down in your bed.
He'd be seeing my balls, not cheese balls.
Wow.
Anyway, well, back to be fair, we're 1 minute past 9, so we're past watershed with that comment.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not swearing or nothing.
Liam, I have a formal complaint. Brooks is the same as you see him in this podcast. It's the same.
Absolutely the same.
Yeah. I've been chopped some here too many times.
What you get.
Exactly.
I'm afraid so.
Voice is in a tin. So I've had to say exactly what's in the tin.
Here's what you could have won.
Yeah, I'm not changing either. I'm too old to change.
Anyway.
Lovely to be
Let's just do the podcast, hey?
Yeah. Are we even live? Yeah, Sparksy, I was just sort of saying I know we've had a discussion about it before as well, about the sort of relentless fixtures and schedules and everything. So we obviously finished the season on Saturday, and yesterday the girls are headed out to Australia for one game, all the way to Australia, before there's supposed to be some international qualifications for the upcoming Euros as well. We are missing quite a lot of our main team, actually. Just really in terms of the scheduling and what we've said before, how ridiculous is this that they're now going all of that way to play one game?
I mean, it's madness, isn't it? But they're going to do it in all football now. It's such a product, and they want to get fans involved in it. So they're going to be travelling all over the place. I mean, it's the same. Wasn't it Spurs that were on a plane yesterday?
And Newcastle.
Didn't they play yesterday? And going to Australia and whatever. It's just financial nonsense, isn't it? So it's all to improve the brand. They don't think about the players. You wonder why all these players are getting ACLs, are getting severe injuries. It's just madness, and it's going to get to the point where you need 3 players in every position, not 2. Because I mean they're talking about the 39th game again. I can't see that ever being good for anybody, any player. But this is what it is. They're trying to bring commercial revenue in, aren't they? So they're saying, well, we're backing the products, so you have to put in more work. And
have you seen the squad that we're taking out? By the way, someone
Yeah.
sent me this yesterday. No, we've re-signed Sarah back to a new contract for one game.
Because we just got rid of 2 goalkeepers and then we're going on a halfway across the world to play one game with no goalkeepers. And obviously Zinsberger isn't involved for maternity. Obviously her baby is due pretty soon, so that makes sense. No Leah or Beth, which I think is probably more ACL looking after them without having to drag them all the way. Even if they're not playing, they're not going at all, which I think is actually quite a good thing. Obviously Lotta, we know she's got a bit of an injury, so that's but there's no Stina, which I think she's got an injury, and obviously quite a few other players. So in one way, also for the fans out there, it would have been amazing news to hear that they were heading that way for a game, to be able to see them. And then most of the majority, maybe, of the players they would want to see aren't even going to be there. Des, what did you think of the announcement of this fixture and then seeing the squad as well?
To be honest with you, I'm just a shock, as you guys, all of you say, and I'll echo all of you, to say the season is finished. Now they got international, duties to go to. Why this friendly right now? Why not do it, let's say, July, maybe just before the new season begins? Like, why now? Why all of a sudden now? Well, I mean, I get it's the revenue, as you guys say, exposure. Okay, we all want that. Okay, we want our ladies to succeed. But for the life of me, why are you throwing this picture right now? You could wait a bit longer. But as you say as well, the lineup, for most people, be disappointed now. Season just ended. Like, what's the point of throwing a friendly just after the season is finished? I find that really baffling. It just makes no sense. Really makes no sense to me at all. I'm not upset, but it just feels like a bit too soon. For just one game, season over, just for a friendly event across the world. What's the need for it? Pointless, really. But let's see what exposure we get.
Well, also just saying, just to add into it as well. I got this game on Friday. Then they come back after international duty. I mean, the Olympics have been mentioned as well. We've got the Olympics this summer for the countries that are qualified.
Yeah.
And Arsenal and Chelsea are taking their women's teams to the States to play either both each other and one of the NSWL teams as well at the same time, just for pre-season. But they're going to be shattered by the season does start in September.
Yeah.
The jet lag is going to be unbelievable.
GB haven't got a women's team, have they, for the Olympics this year?
We didn't qualify, no.
We got Canada,
which is a good
got
thing,
Holland,
I think.
USA.
I want to win a gold medal. That's not good.
Yeah. It would have been nice to have seen it now. We've obviously previously have done, but yeah, we didn't qualify. But in terms of like our players, especially for the Arsenal girls as well, you think, thank God, because they're going to have at least a little bit of time before they come back into then Champions League qualifiers and, like Ryan says, pretty important international games and qualifiers as well. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? We can't change it. But yeah, I was just about to read the comment there about Lacasse. I'm a huge fan of Chloe Lacasse. I think she's been underplayed. In the cup final, she was amazing, and I think she's sort of the Leandro Trossard for the women's team for us. She's that option, but I don't think she's a starting girl. I don't know if you'll agree with that, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, massively underused. I mean, the fact that we but we've got her in on a free in the first place was amazing. In the first few games, she just kicked on. She just took to the WSL like duck to water, basically. She's going United, Leicester. The Leicester game in particular, she just took the game by the scruff of the neck in that second half and helped drag that team through. What was a bit of a dodgy start, so we say, if you remember rightly. But no, she's been. It was like the second Beth was available back for Jonas. That was it for Jonas. He was like, no, Beth. Chloe occasionally, Beth. It didn't again. And now we had a big squad this season because we didn't have Champions League. But it's rotation. You can rotate Jonas. It's okay, even without Champions League. We had to
Mm.
pretty much we played an entire tournament in terms of the League Cup. Crying out loud, you can rotate.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see her again. She is going over to
Yeah.
Australia, so hopefully she'll get some minutes. But and obviously then to the Olympics with Canada. But yeah, I think maybe one for next season to keep an eye on as
Yeah.
well, and hopefully she'll get more minutes and obviously show everyone that she's good enough. Catherine just saying then that the Arsenal squad are actually staying in one place when they get to America, which is great. And yeah, I think they're close. I'm not sure when it starts. I know it's soon, but yeah, I think
the
they're probably going
qualifiers
to link in with each other, really, aren't they?
Yeah,
Probably.
qualifying. The girls' qualifiers for the Euros for next year are June-ish time, but then the Olympics get underway like July,
Oh,
August time, something like that, like mid to late summer because of what the Olympics is and all that. Depending on their schedule, I don't know when the actual
Yeah.
football gets underway, but yeah, you still got to travel to Paris and stay in the complex and all that.
Yeah.
Blah.
yeah. It'll be an interesting one this summer, I think. But yeah, obviously that's it for the women's the season. So we will sort of go into transfers as and when we know things are happening a little bit more when it kicks in. And obviously we'll probably discuss the game out in Australia next week as well. But yeah, we'll wrap that one up and head on over to Sunday. First of all,
We have to.
Yeah, we do. Because we don't step away from things. We face it head on, no matter how we're feeling. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you all first what your sort of match day looks like on Sunday and what everyone did. I know me and Bez were together pretty much all day. So I'll let you start, Bez.
I was in the morning, sorry.
What was the plan?
For 2 hours sleep.
God.
I don't know how, Ryan. I don't know
starting
how I
at
did
10
that.
a.m.
Technology. I don't know how I did that. With 2 hours sleep. Insomnia as well. Phew.
But how did you enjoy the build up to it all day, Bez?
Obviously, it was amazing. I mean, the air was crisp. The day was beautiful. I have to say, it was a beautiful day. I'm not gonna lie. Waking up that Sunday was like, I remember 2003, 2004, still just finishing school. I was like, what could it have been? You know, I just like, I literally what I did before meeting you and the guys, I literally walking around the Emirates, little can I say, little walking around, sightseeing, being a tourist, seeing the new, you know, shirt advertisements, you know, the promos bit. I was like, I can enjoy this. I can get used to this now, you know. I just telling myself, okay, needed there. You know, I just felt like I was waking up almost with the team, with us as Arsenal families we are, you know. I just felt like, what could it be today? What could potentially happen? You know, I had echoes of 89 as well, echoes of 2002. But just literally just felt like, oh my God, amazement. And then obviously meeting you and the gang as well, like, oh my God. And then obviously, you know, part one went great. Part two wasn't that so-so. Part three, what could it have been? So it felt a bit like a movie, you know, like a roller coaster ride as well, but a bit like a movie. Let's say that, you know. But I felt that, I told myself once I passed Monday and I'm waking up today, yes, it was a movie that actually happened for real, you know. Reality check. It happened for real, mate. Wake up now, you know. I think the best part was being in that part, being in Tullington especially, just felt like we're such a close-knit family, despite what happened with some of the, you know, this. I know there's some scuffles between us and some Everton fans, which I don't go into too much. But between us guys, the embracement we have, the family nature we have, the closeness we have with each other, the understanding, the chatting, you know, just losing that for a moment, just forget all things outside Arsenal, all Arsenal-related present. Just, I think for me personally, I've not felt this good, as I told you on Sunday, since the 2014 FA Cup final, I should emphasize. And just as you saw me, I was in tears. I'm not going to lie, I'll say in camera. I was literally in tears as I was crying and trying to hold it together. And it's like, what could it have been? You know, just look, I'm happy we won. I'm happy we show resilience this season. I'm happy and proud that we managed to fight on with this team that's got 115 charges, which God knows when they're going to be summed up to the high quarters of maybe many quarters, we don't know when. But we did our bit. We played fairly for any City fans. We played by the rule book, you know. And I'll say this right now, and I'll let people speak. But I'll say this now: we have fucking class. Whether you like it or not, this fan base of ours, despite what you speak of us, Tottenham fans, I'm talking about you as well. We have class. Thank God Chelsea fans somehow realised to pipe down when they wanted to. But for me, especially the Tottenham lot and the City lot, surely you need to see, for us 20 years of hurt, what we've been through up and down, we have frigging class. Get over yourself. Let us embrace the team we've given us, like it does to you. You bought it all. We had to fight for it. We had the Bante era, so about 5 years ago. We got through it. We got each other now. We got our fan base. We got our Arsenal family. We got our families as well, thankfully. But let us enjoy these good moments. Don't ruin it for us. Why should you walk over our park and feel the need to piss on it? Shall we say this? I'll say it loud and clear. You simply be going to piss on our parade and think, oh, you know what? I'm not going to rain on it. I'll piss on it. I'm sorry. You can clearly see, and I'll say this from us on this interview. I'm sure Liam was recorded very heavily. So I'm happy he did. All of us are going to feel a lot of emotion right now. Will be good and bad. But how dare Rodri say with this team has weak mentality? I'm sorry. Who are you to tell my team we have weak mentality? Before Man City was up in their cloud nine, Arsenal was actually achieving many things before you even basically got bought to around now 2008. I remember City 2009. Middlesbrough beat them 8-1. I'm sorry, that was not something you say about the Arsenal having a weak mentality. You're the one who clearly has no brain cells to say something classy, to at least acknowledge the team who gave you a fight for 2 seasons. At least we did the right way. Again, I'll say this, playing by the fucking rule book, at least let me enjoy my team as a fan. Let me enjoy my team was given me. Will be UG, will be Liam, will be Ryan, I'll say it to Sparks, Brooksy, all of us. Simply I feel right now, by that comment, the way, Rodri said, I was trying to respect him even before, and I thought, okay, he's a midfield that does hold the things together, like we have, sometimes Party or we had the era back in the day. Who is this man to tell our team you got weak mentality? Weak mentality is the one who clearly sees something as a threat, and you want to piss on it. I'm sorry, who the fuck are you? Completely classless footballer who completely goes small rotten, and you see the fan base just pretend that nothing happened. I know people speak, but I just feel still fuming. I'll go over the Viv situation, and to have this Rodri to say weak mentality. I'm thinking, please, the sooner the better. Once his time is right to leave this league, I just can't wait to see him just say, please, bugger off. For our care. Frustrating the best is possible.
Go on, Bez.
Go on, Bez. Go on, lad. I've never seen you rant.
Tell us how you really feel. Don't sit on the fence.
I told Brooksy,
That's what we love.
on Tuesday.
Have you had an energy drink?
And I signed a little thing in myself.
You need to have more of them energy drinks, man.
I'll tell you what, that's his red wine. Thank you very much.
Come on.
Well, there you go. That's even better.
Just want to touch on the Rodri thing.
I don't know about the beer side of the knows, but it's a white talk right now as well.
Go on. You just missed the mic drop.
I was called the tree juice. I called the tree juice.
Rodri is absolutely the most classless player I've seen in a long time. I mean, I remember early on in the year, Spain played Scotland. Scotland beat Spain, and he didn't like it. And he didn't hide it whatsoever.
Wasn't he the one that took out Odegaard as well?
Yes.
Yeah, for an international break as well, yeah.
I mean, that game, Ryan, he shouldn't even be on the pitch.
I mean, technically, yeah. But the reason it's all well and good standing there with a trophy after the fact, going, oh, yeah, it was that game that won us the title. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's why your manager, your players all went on Sky and other platforms, media-wise, and went, it's over for us. We're done. But now you've got the trophy. Oh yeah, well, that's the game we won it. No, go away. And someone mentioned in the chat, their top 6 record is awful this year against the top, like the general top 6 from the previous season. Draws FC. What won them the title was us spending the first half of the season gelling in Havertz, sorting the Vaya situation out, and setting the squad really. That's what with that we were dropping points. If we had a settled squad and weren't doing what we were doing that first half, we saw the second half what we were capable of. If we'd done that in the first half of the season, we would have won the league at a counter, literally. It's the Fulham 2-2 draw, the Fulham away defeat that you mentioned before, West Ham at home. They're the 3 games that cost us.
They're the ones.
But no, Rodri being Rodri, I am what I am. He's an absolute class.
How dare we play our own way? How we have to play how Pep plays, how Pep tells everybody they've got to play. So they're ridiculous because we don't have a plan B, but we have to play the same way every game. I mean, which is it? You can't have everything.
No, exactly. This is what I'm saying.
You can't have anything.
As you know, I was on a show
It's just
earlier.
nonsense.
It was a big
It's
discussion
just like,
point. Of,
yeah. If you do this, I'm going to chastise you for that. If you do that, I'm going to go the other side.
yeah, it was a big discussion point on the show I was on earlier. Like literally, everyone complained for years and years and years. I also don't have a plan B. Don't have a plan B. The second we show plan B, it's well, that's cost you the title. That's a weak mentality. What's it to be? What do you want from us? Literally, our manager's gone to a place where we historically get pumped year in, year out in the last few years. He's found that he's gone there, wanted to go to win, but found a way of getting out of there at least of a point and a clean sheet, by the way. And no one outside of Arsenal's happy, apparently. Well, there's some idiots in the Arsenal fan base that are just what they are in Spain. But other fan bases to come at our fan base and say we bottled it again, like you ain't got to. The only fan base can come at us really and talk and be on our level is Liverpool because they've been through this under Klopp. Your Chelsea's, let's not go to a Chelsea, West Ham, Tottenham are such an irrelevant club. Even their manager's turning on them as we speak. Like the fact that they are going writing letters from all over the world to your club and emails going, please lose to Man City. We don't want to beat Man City because Villa won't lose to Palace. And look what happened. You could have had Champions League football at the very least. It was financially would have done you better off, especially going in the new format. Oh no. It's got to be what we've got to do this, we've got to do that. And it's like your mentality is on the floor where you're worrying about your next door neighbour. That is the equivalent of just watching your best friend from school do brilliantly. It's like doing fantastic, but you've got an opportunity to really mess with him for one moment, and you do it just so they can suffer for a little bit.
Right.
But the thing is, we can suffer for a little bit. You suffer for your life. We are historic. I've been alive for 35 years. Tottenham's last contribution of any sort in terms of winning the silverware was 1991. We're in 2024. They need to piss off, accept their bullshit. And if I'm a Tottenham fan, they should be shitting themselves now because Chelsea, there's a vacancy there. That's all I'm saying. I think it'd be better off there. But no, I'm not having this bullshit from other rivals and Man United fans and all that when they are literally where we were 4.5 years ago. Worry about yourselves whilst we go and do what we're going to do. Because I've said it on Sunday, I'll say it again. This time next year, we will be here with a trophy, with that league title in our hands if it kills us. Because I've seen so much from this team over the last 2 seasons in the adversity to believe that they're going to use that again, that pain, that agony from Sunday, add the additions that we need to add in terms of strikers, wingers and whatever, and we will come back stronger and we will get it done. Arteta knows what needs to be done. The players now know what needs to be done for an entire season. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to sit here and let idiots and a so-called Chelsea fan banter. For what? For competing when you're literally mid-table for most of the season and just because the rest of the exact crap, you get 6th. Go away.
Squeeze 6th.
Yeah, fair play. Anyone else got any further comments on that sort of topic?
It's time for Liam's rant, I think.
Yeah.
Anybody got popcorn?
Listen. Right, I'm going to keep it quite short and sweet. West Ham, yeah, right. West Ham. Let's start with West Ham Central. Let's start with him, right? I'm never going to put anything on his thing because I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of getting any money out of me. But what an absolute wet wipe that geezer is. Like, to sit there and talk about Arsenal every single fucking hour of the day. Like, your captain's gone, mate. Get over it. He went to a better club. He's going to win silverware. He's going to win trophies. Get over it. Like, you sit there playing all the fucking victim. You're not a victim, mate. You agnetise everything. You agnetise absolute everything, right? And you give the rest of your fan base a bad name. I had a West Ham fan message me the other day, started going, Arsenal ain't got the cojones, whatever you want to call it. I had to stop the conversation there. I was laughing. This team's just gone and got 89 points in a league season against a team that has won the league title the last 4 years. Every other club, including ourselves, up to last year, were bent over for them. Absolute bent over for them. Absolute bent over for them. Yeah, right. We don't bend over for them. And for this season, and rest assured, do you know what I mean? We still not got the cojones. We've gone to Liverpool. We've gone to Man City. We've gone to Manchester United. We've gone to Spurs. We've gone to Chelsea. Yeah, they're our rivals. All them, what I've just mentioned there, they're all our rivals. They're rival games. All them games are rival games, and we've not lost. Okay.
You can direct it in because there's one in the chat.
Complacency at certain aspects. Complacency at times has cost us. Complacency in Fulham at home cost us. For me, when I look back at a game in this whole season, yeah, and I look back at a game, I'm looking at that game. And yeah, it might have only been in August, September, but I'm looking back at that game at 2-1 up, yeah, right, with Gabriel sitting on the bench. I know they're down to 10 men as well. And I'm thinking to myself with 5 minutes ago, do you know what? Just get Gabriel on the pitch. We might need to defend a set piece still. We didn't do it. They scored from a set piece. I look back at that game. That game cost us 2 points, cost us a title, in my opinion. Yeah, the West Ham game. Yeah, do you know what? Well, what I say about West Ham, that game, we battered them. And it's weird because they should have been 3-0 up, but we absolutely battered them and couldn't hit a barn door. That happens at some point during the season, every season for every team. That happens. I can understand that. Fulham away again was what the most inexcusable display of our season. We just didn't turn up. We were feeling sorry for ourselves, and in that period, we didn't turn up. We went away. We come back a totally new team, an absolute new team. But when I listen to Tottenham fans go on, Tottenham fans who've not won a major trophy since 1991. Do you know what? I had a bet with my mum that day. I won a fried sandwich. I was about 10 years old at the time. I was about 10 years old at the time when I won a fried sandwich. I actually said Spurs would win the cup.
I was 2.
I actually won a fried sandwich that day because I actually said they'll win the cup. If they went to a cup final now, they're Spursy, mate. They're going to lose it. Look at the state of you guys. You had all the possession, all the ball against us. You was 3-0 down at half time. If we didn't take our foot off the ball and the second half and got a bit complacent, it would have stayed 3-0. Your 2 goals were gifts. Spurs, I don't know. And like the best bit about Spurs, right? The absolute best bit about Spurs was the Manchester City game. They got exposed for what they were in that day, yeah, right? Because, man, I'm telling you now, yeah, right? Aston Villa, whether they had not got top 4 by the second to last game, they would not gone to Crystal Palace and won. Palace are in absolute bang up form at the moment. They are basically ripping teams to pieces. They are literally ripping teams to pieces. I don't believe, yeah, right? Aston Villa would have had top 4 if Spurs got the win at home. But you know what? We don't want to play in the Champions League, do we? Because do you know what's going to happen now? That was probably your last chance. And everyone sits there and goes, do you know what? Chelsea, they fucked up here. Am I back?
You're still there. We can still
hear
hear
you. Go on.
Am I back?
Yeah, keep going.
I can always hear you. Go on.
Yeah, we can't hear
Yep.
you.
We sit there and go back to Chelsea. Chelsea will be better next year. Chelsea will be better next year. Chelsea will, whatever manager they get in, will be better next year. Okay? Chelsea will be better than Spurs next year. That was Spurs' last chance for me for quite a while to get Champions League football. Blew it. Because you know what? You hate the Arsenal. Love it, mate. Love it. Absolutely love it. Because next year, we're in a better position than you guys. Much, much better. And you ain't got Champions League football. Who are you going to attract as players? Who's going to want to go there with that kind of...
No.
He's run out of cheese balls.
I just wanted to say, right? I had a client of mine the other day just walked in towards me. Oh, do you remember me? I said, yeah, I remember you. No, well, you know what? Last Thursday was the best day of my life. Tottenham went and losing that game. I was like, are you on the head, bro? What the hell is going on with your brain? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have a wedding soon. You're going to have kids soon. You're going to have maybe, the engagement parties. You're going to have all this in your life. You tell me it's the best day of your life. I swear, I just had to stay professional. I was just like, all right, mate, bye. I wish I did this. Excuse me, but you know.
No, it's all
Come on,
good, it's all
you
good.
tell him.
No, I thought. Look, Brooks, I'll be honest with you. I had because I'm a London boy. I thought, you know what? Okay, Chelsea fans banter us. They always banter us because they bought it all. For Tottenham fans, I can give them a bit of Levi, and hopefully Liam gets a chance to hear this. But they're just as worse as Chelsea fans, Tottenham bunch. Who are you to? Again, I'll say it again. They feel the need to piss in our parade to go. Wow, you know. Let's just also make us all suffer. I mean, you're the one who's suffering now. Let's see how well you do in the summer market, as Liam will probably go on about it again. It's disgusting.
They're
Absolutely
screwed now.
I can
The
see him.
chairman can't be
Can
happy.
Can he hear us though?
The amount of money they're going to lose now for not being in the Champions League.
You know.
Are you back?
Yeah. Mate, they fucked it. Spurs.
What's he got?
So let's forget about Spurs because they're going to be down with the
Whoever.
They're going to be down with
Anyway.
the shit. Yeah, they'll be down with it. Then you got Liverpool, the victims. Even still now, yeah, right. We have to listen to them.
No.
Like, oh, it happened to us. I'm bored. What's happened to you? Do you know what I mean? You bottled the title race. You was the ones that should have won it. You was the ones who should have won it. Klopp was leaving. You was going to win everything. All you won at the end of the day was the Carabao Cup, and you absolutely bottled the title. So go away. I don't want to hear about it, you Liverpool. I don't want to hear about it. And that's literally that. Now, what I would say in terms of Arsenal is we cost ourselves the title yet again. Yeah, no one else cost us the title. We just cost the title ourselves by just losing shit games. We lost to Aston Villa at home, which we were stuck in between Champions League football. I'm going to be honest, yeah. Controversial. I don't understand the manager's choices decisions that day whatsoever. But we lost the game, and I think if he's to review a game that he could have done better, he should have done better in the Aston Villa game. His substitutions were not right. They were not done at the right time. I don't care if you've got Thomas Partey on the bench at that point, you fucking bring him on. Do you know what I mean? You don't have someone on the bench not to bring him on, in my opinion. If he's not fit, don't have him on the bench. He should have come on in that game. And do you know what? We might have won that game late on if we'd brought him on. So that was a shit game. And as I said, the Fulham games and the West Ham, the Fulham games are the ones that wrangle with me. The West Ham game can happen at any time of the season. We done enough to win that game, but we just didn't hit a barn door. So we cost ourselves it. And I see a really good comment earlier on. And it might be it's definitely having a dig at Arteta, but what he's trying to say is correct in terms of what he said. What he said is right. We shouldn't be relying on other teams to do us a favour because do you know what? Yeah, right. You've seen it now. Your own very eyes, all your beady eyes there. Yeah, right. All the beady eyes everywhere. I've seen it. When it comes down to it, and Arsenal in a title race, it doesn't matter, right, what team it is. They don't want Arsenal to win the league title. No one wants Arsenal to win the league title. You've got to remember that we was an absolute mockery 5-6 years ago, right? And we got the piss taken out of us left, right and centre. It goes on even before that during the Wenger days. We got the piss taken out of us. I remember going away to Liverpool getting battered 5-0. I remember the Manchester United 8-2. Do you know what I mean? I remember Chelsea 6-0. We got absolute battered from pillar to post. And now we're a team that they're all shitting and they're thinking, do you know what? Actually, Arsenal might win a title. And all these fans from all these different bases were all shitting it. They were all shitting it because they were thinking it's going to be absolute unbearable. And we didn't get over the line. And now they've all pulled out the woodwork again. And it shows you in terms of we can't rely on absolute anyone else for us to win something. When we win something, we have to win it on our own accord because we just can't rely on anyone. Fulham, they were never going to beat Man City, do you know what I mean? But when you start looking, West Ham were never going to beat Man City, if we're being frankly honest well. But when you start looking at teams like Spurs, even if Chelsea had played them, they would have bent over for them, mate. They wouldn't have wanted us to win the league. It doesn't matter that Man City have got this 115 charges hanging over them. It doesn't matter. No fan base wants Arsenal to win the league. So what we have to do next year, yeah, right? We have to regroup. We have to keep that hunger. Because do you know what? We did do better this year than we did last year. We was a much better team by the end of the season. We need to take the positives that, do you know what? We won the last 16 out of the 18 games. We went to Manchester City and drew. Don't agree with what Rodri said whatsoever. You talk shit, mate. You had one shot at the Emirates. You done exactly the same thing. But we just need to make sure now we get the right players in to finish the job off. And when I say the right players, I'm talking about world-class players that are going to do a job. And I'm going to be quite critical here. The left wing position is a big position for me moving forward. Trossard's done a good job, but I don't think he's ever going to be that player that's consistently going to play a whole season. Martinelli, he had a good game. He had a fairly good game on Sunday, but he hasn't done enough for me this season whatsoever. And he needs proper competition, and he needs potential. Now, I think he's one who they will potentially upgrade. A striker is obviously a big piece. Now, in my head, I'm thinking still, right, Havertz will go back to. I think he'll get push Havertz back once he gets the new striker. I still think, right, that he likes Havertz in the number in that role. And I think when you get the new striker in, whatever dimension that striker is, it could bring out the very best of Havertz. So that could be a possibility. And then we just need to. I think what we need to do is get another defender in. We've literally relied on Gabriel and Saliba all season. We was lucky we lost Gabriel at the last 20 minutes of the last game of the season, and it didn't really matter. But if we lose Gabriel or Saliba, it's a totally different ball game then. And that's something that does need to be addressed. And obviously the left-back position needs to be looked at. Zinchenko's not good enough. I think Tomiyasu's had a superb end of the season. I think he was absolutely brilliant on Sunday. He'd probably got my man of the match Sunday. Like, he was all over the place in the first half. And obviously a goalkeeper for Ramsdale. But we cost the title ourselves. No one else cost the title. We cost ourselves by slipping up in shit games that we should have won. Because do you know what? We've done all the hard work against all our rival teams. And when, as I said, they're not the top six, because if I say the top six, we lost to Aston Villa home and away. But when I look at rival games, we turn up in every single one of them. Absolutely every single one of them this year. And we done a really good job in that area. And that gives me so much confidence next year that, do you know what, if we brush up, get the right players in, we'll have the last laugh next year. And when we have the last laugh next year, we're going to be unbearable. And it's going to be worse than ever, isn't it? Because the amount of shit that we've taken, the amount of crap that we've taken over the last, it's not even the last 48 hours. We're talking about weeks and weeks and weeks.
Day.
You know what I
Every
mean?
day.
We should be applauded, really, deep down. Like someone put something on my Twitter, and I actually agreed with him, even though I didn't comment back. He went, yeah, there's loads of people saying that we bottled it, but not one pundit or one experienced player or one ex-player has actually mentioned that Arsenal's bottled the title race.
Yeah.
Not one.
Also, how is it we're getting more coverage than the team that's just won 4 in a row? Media and fan base.
This is the thing, though, isn't it? Because everybody goes, "Oh, City win it." They don't hear anything. Day after, it's completely forgotten about. That's what it's about. Completely forgotten about. But all the shit they've given us over however many fucking years, they know it's coming back. If we win that title, it's coming back. The internet would fucking break. The internet wouldn't be able to handle it. Because of all the shit that they give us, that we would actually have justification to give them back, and that's what they can't take. They can see it's progressing. They can see it's happening. Have you seen the thing with I don't know if you saw the post that I put out where the Chelsea fan basically put he'd been slagging off Arteta, not good enough, and he put a post out after Poch has been sacked, saying, "Bring me Arteta." Are you fucking serious? All the shit you give us that he ain't good enough, and then you fucking have the nerve. Not that he's going to your fucking wash club, but you have the nerve to give us shit about our manager. He's got no experience. He's just shit. But now you want to bring him in? You fucking real?
Oh dear.
Speechless.
But yeah, it is just baffling. And like I said, on the way home to, because I live in Brighton, but on the way home on the train, I had Chelsea fans. Obviously, they come off the same train, but Brighton fans putting on Man City accents when Arsenal fucked it up. What have Brighton done again?
Yeah, fuck off.
This is the Brighton team that got knocked out of Europe and then bent over the rest of the season.
Well, I mean, you got
to remember though, all these what you say, Sparks. All these people that are giving it of all fans that we've absolutely rinsed. We absolutely battered Brighton, didn't we? Like we absolutely battered. We battered Spurs in the first half, even in terms of exploiting them. We didn't batter them in terms of possession and play, but we battered them in terms of how we exploited them. Chelsea, we absolutely ruined. Do you know what I mean? We've battered teams 5-6-0. West Ham away 6-0. That hurts. That really hurts them deep down. This is why they're so angry. Do you know what I mean? But they're so happy that we haven't won the title because what we've done to these teams this last year. And I think this next season, I think it would be even better. Like we've done it without a striker.
Yeah.
So it win everything.
But again, I don't like you said. I don't think we have the full squad depth either yet.
Yeah.
I still
No,
think
not
that
far off though. But
we're not far off.
knew-
No, we're not far off. I'm not questioning that whatsoever.
Yeah. No, just saying that we're not just for the rivals out there. We aren't that far away now.
We still need the final pieces, and I completely agree with Liam. We need to be going for world class or on the cusp of that.
Yeah, definitely.
So probably a left wing, and then use Martinelli and Jesus as backup for the wings.
Yeah.
Then a striker. You could even use Jesus as a backup for the striker if you bring Havertz back to the 8. Which is probably what's going to happen. Obviously, left back. I think Timber's going to play left back anyway, isn't he? So it's you got Tomiyasu for backup for that, and I'd still keep Zinchenko, to be honest. I wouldn't sell him, but I'd keep him just purely for backup.
Not sure he's going to play left back, mate.
What's that?
Not sure he's going to play left back.
Who's that?
Who?
I'm not sure 100% that Timber's going to play left back.
That's what
What,
he's been
where
playing.
do you think he's going to play? You think he's going to play right back?
Am I breaking up?
A little bit.
I don't know, mate, but we thought he'd come in as a right back. He went left back, but he come on right back on Sunday, and we see how both players are inverting in that position. I don't know. I don't think it's an absolute gimme at the moment. Like, and I'll go that far to say, right. And I always go back to the first game of the season. No one knows what Arteta's thinking for next year. Now Timber's back. No one knows what he's thinking in terms of how he's going to run that defence because Gabriel weren't getting that in the first 3-4 games. And I think Gabriel's been absolutely superb. And to drop him again would be fucking harsh. But no one knows what Arteta's thinking at the moment. It's not given that he will start a left back. That's all I'm going to say. I think we potentially will look at another left back.
No, I was saying just in terms of Sunday, I think maybe it's more in Arteta's mind because this is Timber's first senior, obviously his first senior game back from the ACL. Just play him his natural position. Don't take no risk. Maybe we don't know until pre-season gets underway. We don't know, but we again.
I don't think it's a given, though.
Well, I think
I don't think it's a given. Well. He was a right back. A trade.
Yeah, but I think he likes his versatility as well. So we know. So
you can't drop White though, can you? Can you drop White now?
Mate, as I said, you never know what's in Arteta.
I get that. Arguably, I think as White being the best right back in the league.
Yeah, of course he has. But it might be that he doesn't play right back. He could play him centre back like he started him at the start of the season. You just don't know, mate. I'm not saying he's not going to do that, but now he's got Timber back. He had a method that he wanted to go to at the start of the season, and it was broken because Timber got injured straight away and then Partey got injured.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know what Arteta's like. He likes to change things a little bit. All I'm saying is I just don't think it's 100% given it. He'll be a left back.
Right. I mean, I think he will be, but that's my perception. But yeah,
you didn't think he was going to be a left back when he brought. Did you think he was a left back when he got brought into the club?
No, absolutely.
No,
not.
You thought he was a right back.
But also at that point,
you thought he was a right back, didn't you? You thought he was a right back.
Hang on.
Everyone else get your popcorn.
At that point, had White solidified the right back position to the level he has now.
But Ben White didn't even start right back at the start of the season, mate.
But that's what I'm saying. So you're basically going right. He's now.
But Ben White didn't deserve to not be playing right back at the start of last season. Ben White should have started right back in the first game of the season. Ben White should have started right back in the first game of the season. But he didn't.
What I'm saying is now it's a massive thing to displace him from right back now.
But it was a massive thing to displace him last season. He was that good last season. He was that as good last season. Get me wrong. He's progressed this season into a better right back. Don't get me wrong.
He's better this season.
But I'm just telling you, yeah, right. I see the team at the start of the season, right. No one thought Timber was going to play left back at the start of the season. But let's be honest, the reason he played left back at the start of the season was because Zinchenko was injured at the time, and Zinchenko was his number one.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not guaranteed, right, that there's a lot of rumour that we could go for a number left back.
No, we've been linked with anyone.
Hasso.
Sorry?
Hasso.
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Who? Who?
But yeah. Yeah. I know none of us actually know. But yeah.
Anyway, back over to you, G. Back to we want to take control of this again.
I think the original question was how was everyone's match day?
Yeah, well, that's where it started.
Then Bez went on one.
For the last half hour, we just gone.
I think I was actually just asking how everyone's build up to the match was. To be fair,
yeah,
it's going to be chaos.
But went wrong.
This is what it's all about, isn't it? Like, we obviously have feelings. We've got to get some things off our chests, and that's what it's so natural having a conversation like that, isn't it? So it's no.
Here we go.
Go for it.
Oh. Someone knows how Liam
throwing one in. God, do you reckon that's a possibility? Anyone, Brooksy?
No, I can't be surprised. But you never say never. But when we've done so well with two centre halves. I'll be surprised. Who? Okay, right.
But wasn't you not surprised at the start of the season? Wasn't you not surprised at the start of the season when Partey played right back and Timber played left back and Ben White Saliba played centre back?
Yeah.
But there was a rumour, wasn't there? Everyone thought Gabriel was going to Saudi, and he dropped him.
Right. Let me tell you. Let me tell you another. One of our best performances, right? It weren't in the end, but one of our best performances was that first half against Nottingham Forest. We was fucking brilliant in that first half. I've never seen us press a team like it. And do you know what? I think we'll get back to that level next year. And Timber is a massive piece for that. But it was what interested me on Sunday was him inverting with two fullbacks. Because everyone's always gone, he only inverted one fullback. But in that last 20 minutes, he inverted with both fullbacks. And do you know what? Everton were fucking pinned in that last 20 minutes. And if you notice, right, as well, Smith Rowe come on and it just pushes the whole team up. So what I potentially see happening is Havertz pulling back into that midfield role again, but him pulling right up towards the striker because you'll have the centre mid, you'll have the fullbacks inverting. And that's why I'm not saying it's not going to happen because in my head, what should happen is Ben White play right back, Timber plays left back, Saliba and Gabriel play centre backs. That's what should happen in my head. But I don't think anyone can second guess Mikel Arteta in terms of what he's actually thinking in terms of progressing his team moving forwards. And he definitely 100%. I think he showed us a little bit in that last 20 minutes of how he probably wants to go next year and have two fullbacks inverting, especially in the home games.
We've got a very versatile team. There's so many players on that side that can play all over the pitch.
All
you have
across
to
the
look
line.
at your Havertz, they're so very multi-talented. And obviously Arteta's going to get the best use out of how he's going to fit. In regards to Smith Rowe, I have to say I thought he looked very lively when he came on. I don't know what anyone else thought, but whether that means we keep him on, I really don't know. I hope he stays, but I honestly don't know where he would actually fit.
I think he's another player who, if we did go into next season and the style that I think we're going to play, I think we could get the best out of him. Like in that last 20 minutes, mate, I thought he was part of a lot of the good things that happened in that last 20 minutes. He hit the crossbar, didn't he? He was getting in the positions. Yeah. So I would keep him, but the problem is now, does Smith Rowe want to be sitting on the bench and he's got to make the right career decision?
He's looking at that Euro squad today. Your likes of your Rezes and that going. And if Smith Rowe had carried on playing, he probably would have been in that squad. You know, he's at that age now. What's he, 23, 24? You know, he's got to be playing. He's got ambitions. He wants, play for his country and that. So yeah, it will be interesting. I mean, that's the one little criticism we'll have about Arteta is the cups. He just I don't know if he doesn't take them seriously. That's not what I mean. But it'd just be nice to have longer cup runs because the players like Smith Rose, they get more and more games.
Can I
Obviously get
can
more
I just say
confidence.
can I
You can say
can I
whatever
just
you
say
like.
that
Go on.
that FA Cup game against Liverpool on another
It's
day we'd
fuming.
have
The
pissed that
angriest I've been this season, eh?
because we couldn't fucking finish it, and another one we couldn't finish our fucking dinner. So another day
We fell off
pissed
the
that.
radar, didn't we? That was the period that we absolutely fell off the radar. When
Yeah,
you look at the
exactly.
critical period, that's the period. That was the critical period. To be honest, when I looked at Liverpool's run in that FA Cup after they had Man United away, do you know what? I want to win. Don't get me wrong. I want to win cups and all that kind of stuff. But maybe not the FA Cup run kind of helped us a little bit with his squad because it's still not nowhere near strong enough whatsoever. And when you start looking at the bench the other day, Vieira's not getting no minutes. So what happens to him next season? Do you know what I mean? Does he go out on loan or does he get more game time or does he get sold? I don't know what with him. Reece Nelson definitely goes for me. Eddie Nketiah definitely goes for me. I even think, if we get another left back in, Jacob Kiwar's, I don't think he's a given that he'll stay at Arsenal. He's done well for us, but when you start looking, Tommy Ashley went back to centre back the other day. He can play there, can't he? What a player that guy is, and what an asset he is to us. Absolute brilliant. So when you start looking at that bench, and you start looking at the Aston Villa game, it wasn't much that we needed to be able to change a few players, but what we did not need to do, I think, was take Havertz out of the forward line.
No.
At that point, I think that was the critical decision against Aston Villa, taking Havertz out the middle, at the forward line, and putting him back into midfield. And it didn't work out that day. It cost us a title in the day, reality-wise, but that's why we need the strength in depth, and that's why I don't think Havertz is here to be that central forward. I think he's here to be that player that really pushes up behind him. And I know we all agree that Indy's a bullshitter, but do you know what? If you had someone like an Osherman up top, just say likewise, you had Havertz right behind him. Fuck me, mate. I tell you what, right? If we didn't win the league with them two players, you know what I mean?
My one worry with Osherman is I'm not entirely convinced. Napoli finished they're 10th at the moment. I'm like, I don't know. He'll cost about 80, 90 million.
With Napoli, though, let's be right.
Yeah, I understand that. Harry Kane can't be fooled if it's a Bayern Munich, but he's banging in the goals. You know, if we're going to spend £90 million. Yeah, but he'd be cheaper. He's very young. He's only 20, isn't he? I mean, he could have a very bright future. But yeah, I don't know. It's such an important bit of business, this striker. Because this is what everyone's saying. And we get this striker and we're going to win the league. And there's going to be so much pressure on whoever that striker is to hit the ground running. Because you all remember when we signed, some of you are very young, bless you. But when Bergkamp come, I know he was an out striker, but Liam will tell you, when he come, £7.5 million at the time, didn't score for 8-9 games, and people coming out saying what a flop he was, and it'll be the same when we sign this, because it's going to be about £100 million plus, and the scrutiny. Anyone else signs a big player, no one gives a fuck, but because it's Arsenal, everyone and his dog will be having a little word.
But I think we're already playing for a striker anyway. I think we're already playing. We're doing what City did and playing a different dimension, just playing up to having that striker there already.
Yeah. So
I just don't think he's
brilliant. I have to say.
I don't think. I think that I actually think Declan Rice will go back into the 6th role sooner or later. I think he will, mate. I don't know. I just don't think he's doing a great job there. And don't get me wrong, we knew him and Partey, once they got a plan together, would be absolutely quite formidable. But I just think longer term, if he has this inverted fullbacks, I just think that he might need a little bit different on that left hand side. I think Declan Rice done a great job there, but I like him there, but I'm not sure I see him there long term for Arsenal. I don't know.
We're going on so many things, aren't we? Because we have no clue. Because we don't know until the transfer window opens and we see what's actually going to start happening. Then we can sort of get a good idea of what we're going to look like next season, don't we? But I think we all agree that there's quite a few outgoings to be done first in order to bring in the backups that we need. Because, like I've said to some of you guys in person, I think the difference really for us going into the is we can't be rotating our whole front five like City do. They're not afraid to drop Haaland one day. I mean, look at he's insane. Let's be real, and they don't mind dropping him one game. Whereas we're obviously like Saka, obviously he missed out completely, and rightly so. I think on Sunday, regardless if it's an injury or just giving him that break. But we've rinsed him so much, haven't we? And we've kind of had to because the backups haven't been good enough, like you said, Liam. The wingers, arguably, that's one of the most important areas as well going forward, isn't it? Just to give stability. But I think that's also where we've lost it. The Invincibles, we know, is not an easy thing to do. So I don't doubt that we're always going to have those games and those slip ups because that's natural. But I think having more options that we could trust in to come on and rotate more frequently would have helped us see us over the line as well. I don't know if anyone agrees or thinks different.
Yeah, should I chuck another little grenade in? I know we'll get a little bit of a spark out of you all. So he put this 65 million bid in for Havertz last year. Everyone was like, what the fuck's he doing? He's shit. What if he does the same with Marcus Rashford this year?
I'll be all over it. And the same with Sancho. I think it's a no-brainer.
I think
Sancho. I got Sancho all day long.
I don't think Sancho leaves, but I think he goes Dortmund now, mate. I think he goes back home.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, for what we need right now, I think Sancho would be absolutely nailed on, perfect.
Sticking point on Rashford.
Would you take Rashford?
He's in about 300 grand a week. I mean, if they can lower that, I mean, he gets head right. I mean, it's clearly, I mean, all of this off-pitch stuff. I mean, fair play. And Man United's changing room is not a good place to be for anybody at the moment. Look at Sancho. He's a reformed player. As soon as he got out of there, I think you get Rashford out of there. You get him working with Saka every day. Everyone loves Saka. Smiling face. Get Ian Wright, taking him out for coffee. He'll have a lovely time. I mean, honestly, I think Arteta, everyone moans when we signed Jorginho and Havertz. And now look, everyone loves him, especially Havertz. I mean, if he could do half the job he does in him, we all know how good Rashford can be. Look at the guy who scored at Man City. There's definitely a world-class player in there. And the fact that he's not in the Euros at all, it gives him a good reset.
Got to
maybe a kick up the arse, and he might have a good point to prove, you know. So, someone will take a punt in, mate. Let's face it, whoever's Chelsea's new manager is, they might throw money at him as well. So, he'll be a sought-after person.
I think just touching on that, obviously, as it's been referred to Havertz, look what when we signed Havertz, obviously was like, oh, what the fuck's going on? But when you look at it from the point of view of him, he came from Chelsea and the great abuse he got from that fan base on a week-to-week basis, and
still get him, by the way.
Yeah, they still do. And you could tell at the start of the season that was still obviously in his mind, because obviously it's still in his mind, like because there's parts of our fan base that are so against it because he was Chelsea and all that, and Chelsea rejected this, that, and the other. But once he settled, and he felt wanted by not just the manager, but the players, by the fans that were more accepting. And we got the fruits of the second half of that season. We saw the fruits of Havertz. For a player that had a bit of a mere start, to be honest, a mere start at the start of this season just gone, he still statistically had the best season he has had in the Premier League in the 4 years he's been here. Mm-hmm. So, and you look at that, and you compare it to Rashford. I mean, Rashford gets when it's good with Rashford, no one says a thing. When he drops off a bit, everyone piles on, including the media.
Yeah.
So there's very similar attributes and situations going on where I think if we could take him out of that fire pit of United, bring him into the wholesome environment, not just from a fan base point of view, but a club and a manager point of view. And he knows Saka, he knows Declan, he knows the English core.
Do you not think that's a club thing, though? Do you not think that's a club thing? So that's what I'm saying.
Taking him out of that Man United situation, taking him out of that Man United situation where he gets rated, I think put him in, even if he's a squad player, for initially, just build him up that way, and just He won't have to, again. He won't have the same pressure put on him. I know he's a Mancunian and he's a Man United fan and all that, but he doesn't need to be the main man. I don't think in terms of where he's pretty much relied upon the previous season.
Yeah, he's still seen it at United as their main man.
Whereas at Arsenal, it'll be his goals, but it's also you've got Saka's goals, you've got Odegaard, you've got Trossard, you've got Havertz, you've got who we bring in for strikers, Jesus. Declan scores fucking goals for crying out now. Partey, if he's still there, he'll score goals. You've got let's not just say cheese. Hi, cheese.
Oh my fucking god!
That's amazing.
Fucking done me.
That's nothing to do with your cheesy balls, Liam, is it?
I tell you, they were nice and cheesy balls.
I will buy some cheesy puffs for next Thursday.
I'm on about Chris, you dirty boys.
Anyway, just to round off, I think I wouldn't be against it because if it had been nasty, we think there has to be a bit what's going sort of why but seeing how we dealt with the Havertz situation as a club and a fan base in the end, I wouldn't be against it. And as I say, you've got all these goals coming all over our squad and our defence and all that. So he wouldn't even have the pressure of having to score the goals either on a regular basis. He can go in spurts. So I wouldn't be against it. He knows the league inside out, and he's a good lad. Look at in the midst of a pandemic, he had to go toe to toe, not just help he needs do what he's doing for his club and his country, but taking the fucking government to get their head out their asses. No one else stepped up like that. There's a good lad there. I think that sort of class suits in well with Arsenal.
I think the whole reason why I kind of mentioned it was because we've seen his capability at the Emirates over the last 2 seasons. Do you know what I mean? When he gets into them positions, he can be deadly. And like you've said, like he's in an environment at the moment where there's so much going on in the club from top to bottom that it's just that you don't know what's right. Probably these players don't know what's right from wrong at the moment. But for me, don't get me wrong, he'll have a head start to what Havertz had because I don't think he's going to need that much of a arm around his shoulder as much as Havertz did. I don't think his confidence will be that low because I think when you see Rashford in certain games, I think sometimes it's that I think he's just done with the club, mate. And I think him not getting into the England squad now has to be the telling point for him to say, do you know what? I need to make the right decision for my career. And I just wouldn't be surprised if Mikel Arteta's all over that. Now, we see Martinelli play on the right this week. And like we said, he done a fairly good job, do you know what I mean? But obviously Saka would always start
good
there.
Second half.
Yeah, but you've got that option, haven't you? That, do you know what? You can play Martinelli on the right as well if you need to. But the thing with me for Martinelli, I think he would actually learn quite a bit of the role playing with Rashford in terms of the way Rashford plays. Because I think one of the things that let me down with Martinelli at times is that, especially this season, maybe not as much last season, he doesn't get himself into enough positions to score goals. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't get himself into enough positions to score goals where Marcus Rashford would. And I think he could learn that on the training field from him as well. And that might develop his game as well. For me, if you can get in between 40 to 60 million, I'll be all over it. I wouldn't pay no more than because the whole situation with him at the moment, I wouldn't pay no more than 60 million. But if there was a deal to be made between 40 and 60 million, do you know what? For me, it's a no-brainer. And for me, he would score a minimum of 15 goals from that left-hand side.
How about 40 million plus Eddie? Just to get Eddie out.
Wait, I'll ask John to drive Eddie there.
Yeah,
double whammy that.
I'll chuck him in the back of the
Postman Pat will be driving in there.
Yeah.
I'm just checking the transfer market. The German market, and he's worth £60 million. So again, it's not bad price at this current moment.
Mate, there's no Champions League. It's a no-brainer, mate. I think Man United will sell. now. I think they're in a situation where a lot of changes happening in that club. I think if a really good deal come in, like the deal coming with Havertz from Arsenal to Chelsea, I think if a good deal come in, Man United would sell. And I think Mikel Arteta could potentially be all over that if there was a deal to be made.
Be interesting to see what happens Saturday. I don't know if he's match fit. Obviously, they've got Man City in the
He has to play, surely.
If they get battered in that, their fans will turn on some of their players. I mean, they've already started turning on Rashford. I don't know if you see he had a row with one of their fans before the game. I could see it proper booting off. So it would be a good time to get, swoop.
Yeah. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, there's always that bit in my mind where it's like he's a United player and I hate him.
Scum.
But you know, but he's one of those players that you hate him because he can also be. I mean, that goal he scored at City was unreal. He has that flair about him, doesn't he? When he's on his at his peak, and he's always been dangerous against us. That's probably why I don't like him as much. But yeah, like you say, it's anyone that Arteta wants to bring in now. I don't think I have a problem with it because you can see what. Admittedly, when Havertz came in, I was like, "What on earth? Why?" He wasn't exactly setting it up for Chelsea, really. But we've all grown to eat some humble pie and love him. So, you know, as a fan, we have these rivalries, and obviously Arteta doesn't see it that way. He sees the player themselves and what they could bring to our team. So if it is Rashford, like Brooksy said, he's Premier League proven, which goes a heck of a long way, in my opinion, to just hit the ground running, because we can't have players coming in, I don't think, that need 2 or 3 months to kick in. Like, you've got to go straight away now. We can't afford to have someone pay big money for someone to come in and just trying to adapt and puddle along. So yeah, it would, if the opportunity is there, maybe we can take it. But yeah, Bez, what do you think? You haven't said much for a while. We'll bring
Yeah.
you in.
Echo you. When he first started this United game, I remember that day very vividly. If I'm going to score a hat trick, and I was like, who the hell is this youngster just playing on the United and scores a hat trick against us? I was like, here comes another Rooney, and I was like, bloody hell. But knowing Rashford, as you guys all said about him, he's got this mentality that means he's a fighter, you know, which I love to see. Maybe that's what we need, that left hand side, to give that, you know, strength that we need, you know. He's got good mental, state of it. He's a good finisher, as we know from previous instances. What's up with you?
I don't know. The sparks disappeared, and I could see. I don't know what's going through. He just went past the screen. I don't know what's that.
Probably a meteor shower. We don't know. But we wish him something. We wish him upon a star or something. But yeah, without being distracted now. But yeah, he's I don't know. He's got good mentality as a footballer. I think he's level-headed. From my sort of stats, that's why I've quickly browsed, thankfully, on point. He seems very disciplined. He's got this thing, I don't know how to say. He can be a bit of a game changer, knowing that he has the right team about him. As you guys say, he can probably, hopefully, if he decides to jump over the pond and come over the south side of the, you know, river, more like down south, which to say, like, I think he will fit in pretty well. Knowing him, and we know how him and Saka had a little bit of a rivalry, as when they did that a couple of times. But, you know, I just do feel like something will click, and surely Arteta now, he will know that, look, this season you've done this, last season you've done that with those transfers. This time out, please be more ruthless. Get it done early, please. Why do you have to let us wait till the last minute to getting these deals done? So for me, I'm all in. If we get Rashford, yes, it's a good position. Couple hours too. But let's see. Time will tell who we sign now. I mean, it could be another Alessia Russo scenario, you know? She hops over. You know, she's done playing for the ladies now. Who knows? You just never know.
Yeah.
I think the other one as well. If you look at this Sasuke Gona here, obviously
the midfield would be incredible.
The midfield is an interesting one because we got no idea in terms of how he's going to play it this next year. Is he going to, like, what's going on with Thomas Partey was going to be the first and foremost answer to be made, isn't it? Because we know Jorginho's staying. Can we risk having Thomas Partey and Jorginho again for a whole season? For me, we can't, because if Thomas Partey gets injured like he did this year, we're back to square one. My personal opinion, thank you for what you've done for the club. You've obviously he's had some great games for us, hasn't he? We move forward. I wouldn't say we've moved forward massively over the last year with him, but we have moved forward with him. But I think that potentially that we have to fill this position. This is the position for me that we have to fill. I just don't know how we're going to do it though. Like, are we going to go for the number 8? And does Rice go back to number 6? Or are we going to go for a number 6 and Rice stays at number 8? Now, Frankie de Jong for me would be the perfect player. Would be the absolute perfect player for these two midfielders. And you're looking at a midfield for the next 3 to 5 years at the very least. Can you see, like, I don't know, I'll go to Sparksy first. Can you see us getting someone like Frankie de Jong?
I think he'd be perfect, and I'll tell you why. I think Rice is between a 6 and an 8, but I think he's more a 6. And I think De Jong is more the 8 than the 6. So I think that he's the more advanced one. So you can sit Rice in. He can go back to the 6th position, kind of hold it there, and then De Jong can basically do what Rice is doing now. And I think that'd work perfectly. I think that's I've been a big fan of De Jong for a good while, to be honest. And I'd love us to be at the level where we can bring him into the club, and I think we're at that level. I think that's where we are. I think that's what we should be striving for, is that kind of signing right now. And we don't want to be, as G said, we don't want to be waiting 3, 4, 5, 6 months, or whatever it is, for somebody to hit the ground running. We need to be buying a player that's in that position, that walks straight into the team. Because I'm sick of buying these players as well, that they're going to advance into the team, that start on the bench, whatever. We shouldn't be building the bench. We should be building the first team, and then somebody drops to the bench. They then got to fight for their place to come back into the team. So it gives them somebody to learn from, somebody to strive to be, and that's what competition for places is all about. They shouldn't be coming, well, you've got to catch up to them and you're pushing them on. Well, no, you've brought somebody in that position to do that job, and you've got to fight for your place in the team now. And we just need to be more ruthless. We need to not play with the heart anymore, and just be more of a ruthless and just go, right. That's the way it is. Like the Raya Ramsdale situation, it's just the way it is. And yeah, I think De Jong would be an amazing he's an amazing addition to any midfield, isn't he? Let's be real about it. Not just for us, but for anybody. You put him in a Chelsea midfield, even with Lavia, with Caicedo, and you've got De Jong. You tell me he doesn't instantly improve that midfield.
It'd be a statement signing, wouldn't it? Big
Say again?
Big statement signing.
Well, it is a statement signing, but that's what we need to be doing as well.
Mm.
And it's not that the mentality, the bollocks that Rodri comes out with. Who gives a shit what he thinks anyway? But it's about the fans. It's about us. It's what we pay. We pay fucking top dollar to get into that stadium. And as Wenger said way back when, if you want players like Henry here, then you need to pay the big bucks. Well, we've been paying the big bucks, and we have had players like Henry there. And that's kind of why it surprises when Rice was kind of on the doorstep. So our expectations have now gone up. So you've got to follow the expectations. You got to prove it on the pitch. And like I was saying in the chat with you, Liam, it's not that I don't believe in the ownership. It's that the expectation has now been raised, and you've got to stick with that expectation. You can't now drop off or wait 2 years, because 2 years is too late.
I don't think I know we've had this conversation, but I just think we're at that moment, right, where they have backed him for the last 2 years unbelievably well. Like Stan Kroenke, at least you talk about him with me the better. But at least since Josh has come in, he's understood it, isn't he? He's got the connection going again. He did go up in my estimation with the All or Nothing documentary as well, because obviously he stuck by Arteta when let's be honest, a lot of boards, rightly or wrongly, would have dismissed him, but he stuck by him because he stuck by his beliefs, and because he stuck by him and because he's put all this money in, there's not an inch in my brain cell at this moment of time that says to me that he won't back him again this summer, because this summer is the biggest summer. Now, I said at the start of last season, I think Ryan will back me up on this. I didn't think we'd win the title this year anyway. I've got to be honest, I didn't even think we'd get as close as we did, and we did. For me, it was always about next year, because it was about getting the right forward in. It was about getting that right, the last batch of players that we need to get in. And for me, it's 2 to 3 players. Like, if we get a left back in, we get a left back in. Do we not necessarily 100% need a left back in? No, we don't. Do you know what I mean? Not if we got Tim back. But apparently we are going for a left back. So if we are going for a left back, we'll get a left back in. But for me, if you sort the centre midfield position out and you sort the forward position out, we lost the league title by 2 points. We lost the league title last year by a lot more points. Like,
But also,
we're only getting...
I think we also lost it on sentiment, because at the end of the day, with Gabriel's head being turned, and he didn't play Gabriel in that third game, whatever it was, against Fulham. I think he plays that game and we win that game.
Yeah, but mate, if he brings him on in the last 10 minutes, mate, even that last 5 minutes, even though down to 10 men, in my opinion, that corner, that goal doesn't happen.
It doesn't go in,
You've got the right players. It doesn't happen, mate.
So I think that the kind of emotion is a big thing. I get it, the connection with the fans and everything with the emotion, but sometimes the emotion has a time and a place, and sometimes he should have just gone and like you said, he should have just gone, right, okay, I don't care what's happening outside. He should have literally just shoved him on the pitch and gone, you prove to me now you want to stay. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is keep the ball out of the net. Prove to me you want to stay. And he almost said that in the press conference afterwards anyway. So why didn't he just do that in the game? And that for me, that just shows that little bit.
I don't know though. In my opinion, I'm not sure if it is a weakness though. I think it also stems to other players. You think you can fuck around, so you're not going to be in the team. Like, maybe short-term pain, long-term gain with that one. I totally get your frustrations with it. Like, definitely that game, but like, he's very much in terms of, like, do you know what I mean? That you ain't going to damage this club if you're a player. Like, we've seen it with Ozil and Aubameyang. They tried it. Like, 2 of the biggest egos that we can think about that have been in the Arsenal. Like, 2 fantastic players, by the way, for us. But he weren't going to have it, was he? And Ozil didn't even get Ozil didn't even get in the lineup, mate, where Aubameyang, obviously, he got suspended in the end. So I don't know the ins and outs, but I don't know. I think that potentially, it's more to do with, right, that if I do this and I see that and I get what you're saying, and sometimes there is a way of doing it, but you can't let, if someone's head's not in it or head's being turned by another club, right, is it right to have them in the team? Now, I'll always remember Everton, Joey Leicester. Yeah, but maybe not to make a scenario of it all, because look what happened when Ozil went on the bench. It was a fucking massive scenario every week. So maybe it's to kind of filter it out. Maybe. I remember Jolie Lescott for Everton. Do you remember we played him first game of the season, and it was a week before he went to Man City, and they played him, didn't they? And they lost 6-0 to us, or 6-1, and it was an absolute nightmare. Yeah, I just think that sometimes we're not there, are we? We don't know the ins and outs of it all, but it was frustrating. It was frustrating for me. It was frustrating for me, but it was more frustrating that he didn't bring him on, and especially knowing that how vulnerable we can be at times. Like, he probably thought, if we've been totally honest, with 10 men, we're safe, but obviously we wasn't. That's something. Hopefully, that's something we'll learn from. But yeah, I think going forward though, like with the transfers, it's not about the quantity, is it? It's about the quality you bring in. Like, the goalkeeper's just going to be a second, in my opinion. What Raya will probably come in as number 1 now. I can't see that changing, and obviously we'll get a number 2. But I've got no idea what that number 2 is yet, and I'm not even going to think about that. But for me, I don't know about you, John, but for me, it's the centre midfield and forward line that I think is going to change us from being close to winners.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Especially the winger and the striker. I think they're the missing pieces. I mean, the wingers concern me from what we're getting heavily linked with that Neto again. But his injury record worries me greatly.
I don't think it'll happen though. I said to Sparks the other day, I don't like. Why are you going to pay 80 million on a player who's got that? I think I put. I think I would just put Sparks, didn't I? The amount of game time that he's had now. You don't pay 80 million.
Again. Last year, the signs we had, Havertz come out of nowhere. No one had a clue it was even close to happening. And then bang, one day, hit Romano or Ornstein, whichever one it was. I think it's going to be like that again. We might have even signed a player already. They're working behind the scenes. It's so hush-hush now. Ornstein always used to know everything that was done, but no one really knows what's going on. So, yeah. And especially with the major tournament coming up as well, there's always a player that comes out of nowhere that no one's really heard of. And all of a sudden, a striker, and even could be even like, I don't even know, someone in Austria or something. Star striker scores 8 goals. All of a sudden, he's the must-have striker on the planet. You just don't know. They've got the suspect. Isak's been heavily linked. I would be surprised if we signed him, I have to say. I do think the Sporting Lisbon lad is the person I expect us to sign, but that could be rubbish as well. I mean, let's face it, Chelsea's manager change it today could muck it up quite a lot as well. Because
what about Bruno?
Who? Oh,
Bruno. There's been a lot of links with him as well, isn't there?
Yeah, but good player, but still dickhead. So
I don't like the way.
Player, but I think he could cause trouble. He said a little thing the other day, didn't he, about poisonous apples or whatever. We've got a lot of Brazilian players, and I'm sure they sort him out. But I don't know. I'd be surprised if we signed either of those from Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm not. I'd always go back to his video when he signed for Newcastle, didn't he, Bruno? There was a dig at Arsenal, weren't there? That leaves us a bit of a sour taste for me. So, but they've got to sell. One. I can't see them selling Isak. Like they sell Isak, they're never going to replace him. That's the problem. Newcastle are not going to replace Isak. So why are they going to sell him? They don't need to sell him. They got all the money in the world. So why would they need to sell him?
I'll be well happy.
I don't know if you'd say anything different, Ryan, on that.
No, I think it's more about balance in the books and making sure they're financially stable. But they'll sell one of the two. But I don't know.
I can't see them selling either, to be honest with you. I think it's all noise.
Yeah. And they'll want to improve on what their season this year has not been to the standard they expected, was it, after last year? So they're not going to want to let people go that are going to push them back on again next season.
You certainly don't let Isak go, do you? Absolutely not.
No.
What a gem.
Nah.
We've got him.
That'd be funny. Awesome.
But this was my point before I got rudely cut off by the airwaves. That this is what Spurs have put themselves into now by not winning that Man City game, because Newcastle got all the money in the world, didn't they? They're going to strengthen no tomorrow this year. They'll continue to buy good players. Do you know what I mean? And when you start looking at Chelsea, I know I am surprised. Like I was on that show earlier on, Ryan, and I was actually putting in there they need to give Pochettino a chance at the start of next year. Like, don't know why they're not, but I still think Chelsea will be much better than what they were this year. I think whoever picks them up, the players are in a much better place than they were a year ago. So you look at them two teams alone, and I look at Tottenham, and I just sit there and think, who are Tottenham really going to attract? Like, I could see him get like an Ivan Toney, if I'm being totally honest, or someone like that.
Target, isn't he?
Yeah, it don't surprise me. But do you know what I mean? Son's not getting no younger, is he? And Maddison's hot and cold, isn't he? Like, he got relegated a few years ago at Leicester. See, when the things ain't going right, Maddison's potentially maybe not the man that you need. I just think they've missed a big chance this season to be able to get better quality players in, and I think there'll be a lot of players that probably would go elsewhere. So,
there's talking about going as well, isn't there?
Well, I don't rate him anyway, mate.
No, but what I mean is they're going to make a massive loss on him anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
Unless he goes Saudi.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just think that do you know what I mean? When you look at the teams below him, and Man United have got to do better next year. They're going to spend a lot of money in his transfer window. I think Ten Hag will go. So they'll have to back the new manager. That won't be easy, but they'll be better than last year. You would have thought.
In Gareth Southgate, I trust.
Well, Still ain't
that,
got,
he's
ain't got the most informed defender in his squad, though, is he?
They'd have his favourite around there, wouldn't he? Week in, week out. Bloody hell. Making club captain again.
But yeah, no, I think when you start looking at like Newcastle, I just don't see why they would sell these two players at this time. I think they've got to go hell bent for it next year. And I'm not comfortable. I don't know. There's just something about Bruno I'm not comfortable about because of the whole moving to Newcastle and there's a slight dig at us at the time. I just think it was a bit shit.
Yeah,
Mm.
I agree. We don't forget things like that, do we?
He's got the
And
No,
class.
not
you
this
know
sort
he
of
only
family.
went there because they suddenly came into a good financial
No, we're
status.
better.
There's no way before he would have ever chosen that. So yeah, there's a probably no there from me as well.
Is there anyone else best? Anyone other players that you can think of?
Oh, what can I think with back of my head? Something back of my head just click around. Maybe a City player we can try and pinch one or two, maybe. I would say, well, you got my friend De Jong, and I'll say this right now. What you're trying to adapt to like him a bit more in recent times. He's a player I enjoy watching. That he seems to also play with a smile on his face, a bit like Odegaard and we're saying Rice plays, which I hope we push on. I think there's maybe a few in PSG. You never know. But PSG going through some changes since Mbappe is leaving. It's a tough summer for everyone now. Watch is going to
Xavi
be.
Simons.
Sorry,
Xavi Simons. I'd take him.
I might look him up then. So you never know, Liam. It could be a crazy summer for every club involved now. Euros is just only a few weeks away now, so who knows? Time will tell now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I'll tell you one thing: if Rashford deal did happen, at least he ain't got to worry about England, so it could be done quite quickly. It's Simmons. He's one of PSG, isn't he, Sparksy?
He's a PSG player, but he's on loan to Leipzig.
Actually, sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry. I was watching Villa. Sorry, because now I just clicked in my head. Marcus Thuram, him and Henry, the way they talk to each other. He said Henry was like my father. Who knows in his brain, once he enters career, probably goes a bit up and down. Something tells me a little bit inside that he might have a little soft spot for us inside,
There was talk of United going for him as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was a couple of years ago.
No, I think that recently.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think there was a recent rumor that United were going to go for him. So maybe he is available. I don't know.
Again, I don't know myself, but I think that, as like Bez alluded to, there's an interview I've watched it myself where it's obviously because who his dad is and obviously who his dad was teammates with Henry and all that, like how close they are and that. Yes, I think there's that sort of affiliation of as a striker, advanced striker. If you ever came to the Premier League, that would be his sort of nudge Thierry. To have a word. It might work. He might fit. I think he might fit the system. And obviously London life, and obviously having his dad come over every week, and if he steps out of line, get slapped around the head like he did at the weekend. Don't know if you saw, but basically, Inter Milan won the obviously Serie A. They got the title at the weekend, and obviously there's that rivalry between them and Juventus, and the Juventus fans are making a chant up, mocking Juventus, and obviously Savam's jumping for joy. And doing what the fans want him to do. His dad's come up because obviously his dad's ex-Juventus and snapped around the edge.
How did you see this one?
Remember where I came from. That would be the equivalent of Tony Adams. Obviously, whatever he's one of his boy making it and bloody playing for that line down the road, and they do something miraculously, and they take the piss out of Arsenal. He's like, fuck off. Do as you're told. Remember where you came from. Remember your roots. But no, I think that I wouldn't be against it. Young, fits the mould, plays at top, got longevity. It's just, again, like we've said all night and all season, whatever Jerry, whatever Mikel and Edu work up, I have complete faith in. Unless,
I
unless,
think- I think-
unless,
I
they bring
think
back, unless they do a U-turn and bring back Cedric.
I think they definitely will get the players in. I think they definitely will get the players in. I think next year is about getting a trophy under our belts once and for all.
Yeah,
Obviously,
whatever it
ideally needs to be the title. But then I think the following season is when the actual squad gets completed. Like, I still think, even though we'll get this squad to a really good situation this summer, I think the following season was when you'll see more of a complete squad. And I think that's when we go hell bent on the Champions League. Like, I think we'll do well in Champions League next year, but it's a hard tournament when you're trying to rotate that in the Premier League, isn't it? I think we've seen by the Bayern Munich game and the Aston Villa game that week cost us everything, sadly. And that is because we haven't got a complete squad. And I think we'll get more players in, but I don't think the squad will be totally complete to how Arteta wants it till probably the transfer window of 2025.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. When you look at the average age of this squad, that's not a bad thing whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I just feel like I look at us and I just think we're in such a good situation. It's so frustrating. Do you know what I mean? But we just need to block out the noise as fans. Do you know what I mean? We've had our little rant tonight, and I think it's made us all feel better having our rant and slating the whole world off. But I think we just need to block out the noise and listen to what Mikel Arteta said in terms of that end of season speech. And next year is a big season for him, and he has to deliver. I think he has to deliver a trophy next year, absolutely. And he's had the whole backing from the board. Like I said to Sparksy, I don't think any stretch of imagination the board ain't going to back him this summer. I think we're going to get a good 3 players in to strengthen that squad again. And then we go again, don't we? We go again, and we go through another whole process of a year to see where we are at the back end of next year.
Exactly.
Trust the process just that little bit more. But look, do you know what? We've had a fantastic season. Like, what I would end it on is actually your question before I literally went off radar. Sunday, I went there with very minimal expectation. Sunday I went there with very minimal expectation because I knew the size of the task. But do you know what Sunday proved to me? What an amazing club we are. What an amazing fan base we are. And I'll tell you what, the scenes I see walking up to that stadium on Sunday, I've never seen at the Emirates in my lifetime. And I can feel it going through me at the moment. We keep that up as a fan base. They keep their side in terms of the coaching team, and the board keep their side in terms of the recruiting of players and the right players. We got nothing to worry about, guys. This is just the start of where we need to go now. But we've got to keep going. We've got to keep pushing. And what I would say is every fan stayed in that stadium to the end last week. That's what it should be most weeks. Do you know what I mean? And for me, we got to continue to do that. I know I do get that people obviously got to get home early and all that kind of stuff. But do you know what I mean? I do think it was a little bit disappointing in terms of the Aston Villa game. I know people were gutted, but do you know what I mean? We're better than that. Do you know what I mean? And I think we just need to stick by the team through the tough times, which we have done. But yeah, what I see Sunday in terms of walking up to that stadium, Jesus, if we win the title, fuck me, mate. I tell you what, that would be some pie. And it was even right. It was even. I got a train from Ebbsfleet because there was no trains running from where I was. Everywhere I went, there was just so many Arsenal fans travelling to the stadium, and no one had tickets, and the trains were full of Arsenal fans. And I said to my mate who went from Rochester, he was a Palace fan. He goes, mate, it was full of Arsenal. He goes, it's just loads of Arsenal going up there. You go, like, there was probably around, I'd say 80 to 100,000 fans over there on Sunday. And yeah, when we win that title, mate. And it will happen. I'm pretty much sure of it now that it will happen. It's gonna be a fucking momentous of an occasion, and I just can't wait. And I'm buzzing now for next season. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I thought I'd be gutted Monday, but you know what? I was quite positive Monday. I'm really looking forward to next year, and I can't wait for the summer. People going, we've got to listen to this and that. I can't wait to see who we're going to sign. I can't wait to see who we're going to take to the next level. We're the fucking
It's got to be
Arsenal.
early as well, though, hasn't it? It's got to be done early. Whatever we're doing,
you said it, innit?
Will be, I think.
apparently, I've read a report today that he wants it all done and dusted by the time they get back into training. So
Yeah,
he wants
so
it
they
done
should
early
as
because
well.
he knows, right? He can't afford. He's just seen what Man City have done this year. He knows that he can't afford like a Fulham slip up again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get it done and dusted, nice and early, pre-season together, have that build up where nothing's riding on it, and then kick into the season with everyone ready to go. That's the best way. We did it last year, didn't we? I think we will do something like that. Maybe the outgoers might take a little bit longer, but I think everyone that we all need and want will be done and dusted before we go to pre-season.
Hope so.
Perfect. Well, yeah, I think we'll pretty much wrap up on that then this evening. It's been a good one. As always, thanks everyone that's been in the chat. Your questions and comments have been amazing, but don't forget to like and subscribe to both channels. I think all the details are below. And yeah, as always, Liam, thank you for joining.
No, thank you for listening to me rant.
That's what it's
I've
all
had it for
about.
20
isn't it?
years.
We get through it together.
Oh, there we go. Police in the house.
What I would say is,
I knew that coming.
what I would say, I'm not celebrating. I am going to celebrate something. No ways in it.
Somewhere, someone Emirates around Emirates thing. What were they up to on Sunday? I wonder.
I'm going to celebrate one thing. Obviously, I just read earlier on, and I've been looking at it myself. Ryan, you're up to 3K now, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
No worries, mate. Well done.
Not all.
Good achievement, mate.
Thank you.
I might get arrested in about 5-10 minutes.
That was a bit too much.
Yeah. How dare you, Pat? No, but literally, it's like, yeah, it's all well and good. But like you guys, like the guys in the subs and all, but you guys have done your bit as well. So it's not all on me, but thank you.
Well done, mate.
Bigger a bit. It's kick on now. Not just like the Arsenal. Don't just settle for where we are. To kick on and push on now for the summer and next season, basically.
Absolutely. And Beth, thank you for joining.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for letting me myself and let me around. Thank you guys for meeting you and making this possible. And I'll embrace all of you for where you are right now. It's been great to be part of it. And just let the process flow right through us. And let's see what the summer brings, And I'm really hoping to do well the Euros as a, adopted country. I really hope. As much as they let me down, but I hope they do well.
Nice. Brooksy, thank you for joining again.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much for having me. And yeah, I completely agree with Bez. Let's hope England win the Euros and Team GB clear up in the Olympics.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least, Sparks, thank you again.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah, I can't see England winning the Euros, but I'd be lovely to see it happen.
You would love it.
It'd be something.
That would be something with that. Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different story. I could keep going with a whole different tangent on that one.
Not this evening.
I could do a best style rant on that one.
Can I quickly say as well, I'm nearly close to 3,000 followers on Twitter, nearly myself as well.
Nice.
So me and Ryan could have a party anytime soon if you don't get arrested as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed to celebrate.
When the girls playing.
Very nice. But yes, as always, as I said, thank you everyone in the chat. Keep an eye on the socials of when we'll be back. We'll be hopefully announcing a show for next week very soon as well, so keep your eyes peeled. And yeah, thanks for all your support throughout the season, and on we go to next year. Good night.
Good night.